Flosstube friends. This is my channel, Stitching with Sandy. Hello, I'm Sandy. Today is Wednesday, January 11th, 2023. Happy New Year. So the last time I saw you, I did a whip parade, and before that, I was getting ready for New Year's Eve. So I'm back to share as a regular Flosstube with you today and tell you how I've started some new things this year as far as in regards to stitching. So this channel is all about cross stitching. If you're not interested in cross stitching or hearing about my love for cross stitching, this is probably not the channel for you. I'd like to say welcome to any new subscribers. Thank you for stopping by and giving my channel a try. I hope you find something that inspires you, enables you, or just gives you a pleasant time while you're stitching. And for all of my subscribers who have been sticking around, thanks for coming back every time. I so appreciate it, and I feel the love. Thank you so much. If you're new, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, clicking surprise, and if you click the bell, it will let you know whenever I post something new. Would love to see that. All right, so since the last time you saw me, not too much has happened. I did do the NYE 12 by 12 on New Year's Eve. I will share a little bit more about that in a little bit, but basically I did the 12 by 12. I was successful on all my projects except for one. One of them I was going to work on, and then when I started looking at it, I was stitching it over two, and then I realized that the directions said for the entire piece should be stitched over one. So if I stitched over two, it wouldn't have been a pillow size, and that's really what I wanted it to be. So I threw that one back in the bag and decided to wait on that one. But I'll get to it, and I'll share with you when I'm going to get to that one. Then for the NYE, I did a Zoom as of my couple of floss tubes back. I shared that if you were interested in joining me on NYE, doing your 12 by 12, just want to hang out with other stitchers, whatever you wanted to do, you were welcome to join me. All you had to do was email me on my email listed in the description box, and I would include you on the link for the invite for the Zoom. That was so much fun. So I'm going to tell you more about that in a little bit, but it was a great experience for me. I hope that it was fun for everybody else. They seemed to like it, but it has sparked something new that I'd like to do because of it, and I'll share that with you in a little bit. All right, and then the only other thing is I am back to work. So teachers returned on Monday, and students returned yesterday. I returned yesterday because I stayed home. I just called in sick. I decided to stay home with my kids. And actually, I'm kind of glad because last night we ended up taking my daughter to the ER. She's in a lot of pain, and not Cassandra, but her twin, Marissa. And it turns out that we're just waiting for some test results to come back, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it's just a constipation situation. So we'll see. She seems to be in better spirits today, but nothing has moved yet, so we'll see. But other than that, I am back to work with my sweet little kindergartners, and they brought a lot of joy to me, and I can't wait to share something with you about them at the end of the video. So stick around so you can hear my funny story. All right, so in regards to FFOs, I do not have a lot that I can show you. I have some, and I will show those, but I did stitch two pieces for my winter swaps. I have two partners this time around, and so I completed both of theirs. I just need to FFO them, but I can't share them on here because as soon as I FFO them, I will photograph them, and then I'm going to get them in the mail. So I will make sure either I'll photograph them or I'll take a video and I'll share them with you so you can see what I did, and hopefully it'll inspire you to maybe do one as well. So those are two projects I can't show, but let me show you what I can show you. All right, so I have two FFOs. One is my daughter's ornament that you saw recently that she did from the Frosted Pumpkin. We had both stitched one of the snow globes that we did for her, the Mystery Snow Globe Club for Christmas. And my daughter had completed hers. I completed mine way before her, but we were trying to find a wood backer that would fit it. And I ordered one from Scarlet Sky Designs, which I will include their link in the box because it was the perfect size. And in one of my recent past videos, I share with my daughter, Cassandra, she shares her finish. Well, because it worked out, I ordered more ASAP as soon as I knew it was going to work so that I could do mine. So I have mine FFO'd. So here is mine. This is Rudy the reindeer, and this is by Frosted Pumpkin. And it's a snow globe, and so I did a Santa bell to match the little Santa with the reindeer, and then some greenery and some of those wooden buttons you can get off Amazon, and a little red buffalo check bow. And I just think it came out so well. I tried to mirror the paint colors to match what was in the globe so that it would go together. So from a distance, it looks like it's all one piece. I love it. So I'm very happy about that. And now that I have the other pieces, both Cassandra and I are going to stitch a couple more. And so sometime between now and next Christmas, we will have some more to share with you. So that's one of them. And my other one is one of my 12 by 12s was the Seasons 1 January piece by Hands On Design. And I was able to, and I'll tell you why I finished in a little bit, but on New Year's Eve, when I started it, for whatever reason, and I don't know how this happened, but for whatever reason, the majority of my pieces, I was starting out with borders. That's all I was getting done on all of them, which is kind of funny because I don't mind borders, and it's fun to do a border when you're talking as long as it's not an intricate border. Because it does make it go by faster, but I kept landing on borders. But my new routine of stitching that I'm trying out right now gave me the time to finish it. So I will share that routine with you in a little bit, but here is my finish. It's the January one. I love this one. This piece, if you were following me last year, it is, I used washers and magnets on it. The magnets are glued to the piece, and then I glue the washers to each one of these. And I also have a magnet and washer up here so that for each piece that I do, I can change out the piece and the bow to match. So the greenery and the bow and the little clear little beads, those are all glued onto a washer so I can remove it. So this will be on display in my house for this month. And that puts me back on track because I started Seasons 1 last year in the Hands On Design celebration, a year of celebrations Facebook group. And I started with May because May is the month of my birthday. And so I did May, June, and July. And when August came around, for whatever reason, I did not work on it. It kind of went to this wayside. But I love these, and I do want to have a year of them. So I'm trying to get back on track. So I have January, so I will do February next. So that's my other FFO. Now, I did those FFOs. I do have 2 more finishes. I finished both of them on New Year's Eve before, no, one of them before the 12 by 12 and one of them during the 12 by 12 because I was determined to have them both completed in 2022. So one of them is my temperature tree. So I've completed it. It looks amazing. We did this year, excuse me, have a very warm year. All these reds are when it was all the oranges, dark oranges, and the reds were well over 100 degrees. So it was a very hot year for very many months. Usually it doesn't start to get super duper hot until the end of July, and then July, August, and September are pretty warm. But by the mid-September, it cools down to, for us, is the 80s. To me, that's comfortable instead of 105 or above. But this year, it was just super hot from June all the way through the end of October. Even on Halloween, it was hot. So, so you can see that in November, it cooled off, but it was still hot. Those are all 90s. And then it cooled off, and then it got really cold in December. But for us, really cold, please don't laugh. Okay, I give you permission, you can laugh. Cold for us is like 50 degrees. So that was cold. It did get down to there. I think my coldest temperature is, was 49 degrees. It got down to 49 degrees. So I got a purple one on there. I was so excited to have a couple of purples because I didn't think I'd see any on my temperature tree. So you're probably wondering why I didn't put the location and I didn't put the year. What I am going to do is I want to frame it and hang it on my wall. I do always love to have different tree hangings in my home. I love trees. So what I thought I would do is instead of putting that information, I'm going to attach the sheet of the temperature range that I used, and I'm going to put the year that I stitched it and my location all on that paper, and I'm going to, when I have it framed, I'm going to tuck it inside so that if anyone ever was interested and took it apart, they might not be, but if they were, all that information would be inside when I stitched it, where the location was, and then they would have the chart to know what each color temperature degree range it is. So that's what I'm going to do. So, and this is Magical Clouds by Fabric Flare. So it kind of looks like clouds in the background. And it's 14 count Aida. So I'm looking for a 12. I have to get a frame that will hold a 12 by 12 piece. And I'm waiting for them to go on sale. I looked at Hobby Lobby, but they weren't on sale yet. Then I went to Michael's. They had their frames on sale, but it was buy one, get one, 50% off. But a 12 by 12 frame at Michael's was already $40. And I know I can get it cheaper at Hobby Lobby when it's on sale, or regular price and then a coupon at Michael's. So as soon as I can get a good deal on a frame, I will frame it and then I will show you it fully framed. I'm hoping to have my wall that's right here. I have to take down what's up there now, and I want to make it my cross stitch wall in my house. So that one will go there. And my next one, this one I was so excited. So when when I was doing 12 by 12, I was determined to, because I scheduled my Zoom on Eastern Standard Time, which then gave me several hours before it became New Year's here. So I knew that part of my stitching, I could finish this up, and I was determined to do it whenever I had a little bit of time. I picked it up between projects and finished it. And what am I talking about? I am talking about Teresa's Colgate's Patreon Stitch Along for Tier 4 Strawberry Manor, and I stitched mine on 28 count Monaco coffee tea dyed by me, and here it is. And I love this so much. The only thing that I made sure I did, she had two ways to stitch the alphabet. One was with the Q and one was without. She had done the without originally, and then people asked about it, and then she put one in there for us. So I'm not sure which version she's going to do when she releases it, but I know that she recently said she's going to try to release it, I think next month. But I could be wrong. I know originally she said maybe at Nashville. So, but she said she's trying to get it out earlier because people were really requesting this one. So I did that. And then the other thing I did was the sheep were charted for all white sheep, but I wanted to put one black sheep because I don't know about you, but I feel like every family has a black sheep in it, and I wanted to make sure this one did too. So, because we all are different, so you might as well show that in our piece. So I'm super happy about this piece. I love it so very much. I couldn't, every time I was doing a section on it, I just couldn't put it down. The colors are just bold and beautiful. The reds and greens on it are the exact colors that I love, and now I just need to find a frame for it as well. And I want it to be a very pretty frame. I'd like it to have beading on it or something. I'm tempted to go, I was looking on the website for Home Depot, and they have some picture frame molding. So you can buy it, you have to slice it yourself and put it together as a frame. But it was like $16, and there was one I really, really liked. So I thought it'd be fun to buy that, stain it, and then talk to my sweet friend Kim and see if she'd be willing to help me put it together. I don't really know how to do that, but I really don't. I want a really pretty frame. It's kind of a odd size. When I measured it out, I think the size was 12 by 17 is what I figured that I needed the opening to be. So I don't know. I'm gonna look and see I'll look when the frames go on sale. Maybe I'll order one online if that seems too much of a challenge to have Kim help me with. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out, and once it's framed, I will share it with you because I'm very excited about that piece. So those were my FOs. So I had 2 of those. So let me get my notes so I can move along and tell you more about what's going on. All right. So those are my FOs. So you saw my FFOs, you saw my FOs. All right. So I want to give you a swap update. If you're part of my winter swap, I already emailed out all the partners. So if you haven't checked your email to find out who your partner is, please do. Please make sure that your winter piece, whatever it is that you make, is ready and in the mail by February 1st. Now, if you want to get it out sooner, that's totally up to you, but please try not to get it out any later than the 1st of February. Everyone's going to be so excited to get their pieces, and it makes checking the mail so much fun when you know something great is coming there. So those are going out, and then I'm going to go over my previous giveaways. So my previous giveaways were January Topography by Pine Mountain Designs. That is this one. And in my opener, you should have seen it. I did stitch it. It's in one of my video pictures at the beginning. This one was won by Christina, and I hope, Christina, that I say your last name right. Christina Buccino, but here is your name. And Christina, congratulations. If you will email me, and my email is in the description box below, or you may find me on Instagram, and that my link for Instagram is in there as well. Email me your address, and I will get this out to you. Congratulations. And then my other piece that I gave away was the Stitch It with the Housewives Calendar Creates January. It was also in my opener that I had hanging in my other dining room. And the winner of that one is Sharon Tessie. I think it's Sharon Tessie. Here's your name. Congratulations, Sharon. I hope the 2 of you enjoy these patterns. They did bring me lots of joy. And speaking of giveaways, I had a giveaway that I had to ask several times for, and somebody had finally claimed it. That was that one, plus my last 2. I just mailed them out today. My father-in-law, if you haven't been following me, my father-in-law was in the hospital on Christmas Eve. And so the few days prior, I was getting ready for Christmas. I didn't have time to go to the post office. And then once my father-in-law went in the hospital, we were commuting back and forth to check in on him and make sure he's okay. He is home now. He's recuperating. Hopefully after he does a few follow-up visits, he'll be on the mend. But I hadn't gotten to the post office, so I sent a stack of mail with my husband this morning, and he took it to the post office. So if you're waiting for a giveaway from me, it should be coming to you in the next few days. So I apologize for the delay, but I hope you enjoy your charts. All right, so let's talk about my whips. So before I start with my whips, I want to tell you my new process for attacking my patterns and my whips from the past. So my grand total, okay, for 2022 was, I ended the year with 33 whips, and I had 102 finishes. And of the 102 finishes, I had 100 FFOs. Yes, that's right. They were FFO'd, not just finished, but FFO'd. The 2 that were not FFO'd are the 2 that I just showed you, my Temperature Tree and Strawberry Manor, and it's only because I don't have a frame yet. So I had some good numbers. I'm very excited about it. It's a little bit less than last year. In 2021, I ended the year with 132 finishes, and I think of those, only 4 didn't get FFO'd. So that's not too bad. I'm not disappointed, because that year I did, for Mania, I did 15 ornaments for the month of May, and I gave myself 2 days each for each ornament. So I was very busy. So that gave me a lot of finishes, because by the end of the month, I was FFO'd all of them, and I had, when I finished FFOing them, as well as some from my bin that's been in a plastic tub of pieces that I finished, I had 32 to FFO, 32 ornaments to FFO. So wow, that was a lot. So I'm not disappointed. 102 is a good amount. I'm very pleased with that, but I do need to tackle my 32 projects. I had showed the 12 by 12 with some of the, I used 6 of them so that I could start the new year out to motivate myself. And then I added 6 new starts. So what I'm doing this time is I had made a list of ways that I wanted to finish my pieces. So, well, I'd start my pieces. So what I did is I broke my month into 15 projects for the month. And what I did was I did 15 themes. So some of them are doubled, like I might have done 2 winter themes, 2 fall, 2 spring, 2 summer. I did a magazine. I'm going to do a magazine project. Every time I finish one, I'll pick up a new magazine one to try to work through the magazines that I've bought in the past. And then when I use up the magazine and I don't find any more that interest me, I will then give those away in case some of you are interested in them. And then also hardcovers is another section that I decided to do. And my hardcover books, I'm pulling them out as well because I purchased them and have never stitched anything from them. So same thing goes as my magazines. I'm going to stitch what I want from those books, and when I finish, I would like to pass them on because otherwise they're sitting in my garage storage cabinets and just collecting dust. And I really want to use them, and then if there's something in there that somebody else may have been looking for and I have it sitting in my garage, I would rather pass it on so someone else can enjoy it. So that's one of my goals for this year. Is to move through those magazines and hardcovers. So I have I have everyday patterns because I do want to decorate my wall and I want it to have things that can stay up all year. So I'll be doing those. I did put in 1 ornament every month, but I'm going to share with you, I may end up doing more than 1 ornament a month, but there is definitely an ornament guaranteed for the month. And I'm trying to think, what other themes? Oh yes, and I put in 2 SALs, so I'm giving myself permission to participate in SALs, and I can put the project on there. So the way I broke it down is I used inspiration from Lori, which is Once Upon a Stitch, and I used the inspiration from her by doing a 2-day stitch for each project. And so what I did was I blocked out and I wrote the themes in the month, and I put a line for the 2 days that I'm stitching it. So after I put the themes in, then I went through my whips and I pulled out whips that I wanted to add here, which is what I used for the 12 by 12. So 6 of those whips I put in here, and my 6 new starts I also put in here. So that gave me 12 projects. So I only really had to add 3 more projects in here to have them all in here. So I did. And so what I'm doing is every day I stitched what's called for. And so let me show you in my journal. And I just picked up an inexpensive journal. I think it was like at Walmart. It's like $4, but for what I need, I don't really need to buy the book of days. And this one's much bigger, and each section gives me more room to write. And I happen to write more than I probably need to. So for each day, I write in what I'm stitching. On the first day, what the name of it is, who it's by, where I got it, and the count of fabric and color. So that way it's already documented in here. So then the next day, I just write what I did, okay? So I'm doing that, and then at the end of the second day, then I flip to February, and I'm only sharing this in case you might want to try something like this. And I feel like I tried to explain it before, and I don't know if it was too confusing. I was sharing it with some of my friends on my Thursday night stitching, and I think I confused them, and I really didn't mean to. And I should know better. I'm a teacher. I should be able to explain things better than I do, but I think I just got excited. So what I did was, if I didn't finish it, I went to the same date that I did it in January, and I wrote down the project and the theme. And so then I know that I have that one to work on in February. But if you look at this one, says winter. That is because I was able to complete in the 2 days the seasons 1 January. So since it was complete, I have an opening to put a new winter piece. So when it gets closer to February and I start planning out my month of February, I can look in my whips, see if I have a winter project that I can replace and put in here. If I don't, then that means I get a new start with the winter theme. So I've been doing that, charting along. So here we are today. I haven't written it in yet because today's the first day of this piece. And so when I look back in January, I'll be stitching one of my whips that I'm going to show you starting tonight. And then I will carry it over and work on it tomorrow. And I'm hoping, because of what it is, I'm hoping that I will have a finish. We'll see. I'm very close. The other thing I implemented, because as I was planning this out, I started thinking, you know, I spend an hour every morning before work. I get up in the morning, I get myself dressed, ready to go, showered. I come out, I get my coffee, and I get a water. I sit down and I stitch for about an hour because I wake up early, and with having preteens and a teenager, everybody has to get in the shower, and we only have 2 showers. So by me getting up before the kids, I can get in and get my shower and then rotate through. 2 can go in and then the other one can get in after that. So I have about an hour before they wake up. So I come out here, it's my quiet time, nobody's asking me questions or anything, and I do some stitching. So I started thinking, because this is a new routine and I'm working on trying to do it, I want to be able to have some more finishes besides the ones that carry over to the months, because then I won't have as many finishes. So I decided that for the hour in the morning, I would pick a small and I would work on it throughout the week for every day for that hour. And then the rest of my stitching time is in the evening, and usually in the evening I have 2, sometimes 3 hours, depending on how late I stay up, to work on my other projects. So this way I'm working on 2 different projects a day, and hopefully by the end of a week I'll have a small finish. And so that'll give me some extra finishes throughout the year. And so I can choose whether to do a tiered tray, maybe some pillows, I could do an ornament, or maybe in my swaps I can do my winter swaps. So this is something that I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to stick to it. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a few months, see how this process goes, see if I like it or if I don't, and I'll keep you posted on how I feel about it. If I didn't make that clear and you do have any other questions, please, please, please don't mind. Put it in the box below. Put it in your comments. If you want to email me privately, email me privately. My email's in the description box. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you'll watch and see how this turns out. Maybe it'll be something you can use. I do have questions for Lori, but when we get to it, I will ask. So Lori, if you're watching me in a little while, I'm going to ask you a question because I'm curious about something. So let's get back to my plans. So my whips were, I started with Thankful Quaker by Bent Creek. Show you it. Now this one was one that I worked on in November, and I didn't quite get it done in time for Thanksgiving because I was waiting for some colors to come in the mail, and so it got delayed and I didn't get it finished. So this is for next year's Thanksgiving, and I'm okay with that. And so it is the Thankful Quaker. This is it. I love this piece. My friend Melissa had 3, and she gifted me one and our other friend Barbara one, and the idea was that we're all going to stitch it. I'm not sure if they've started theirs yet, but I know that I was encouraging them to get started by starting mine. So we'll see. So when I started, I had the pumpkin, this border here, and I had the silverware. So for the 12 by 12, I was able to stitch this little tiny piece here, the legs of the turkey and part of his body. So it looks like a drumstick with feet. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know. That's all I was able to get done in 12 by 12. However, it is now in my month of January, so it'll get 2 days on it. I haven't come up on that one yet, but it will get 2 days on it. So that's one. My next one, now this one, I was a little disappointed because I thought I had enough floss and I ran out of one of the colors, so then I had to wait to get more. So I had enough time, I could have finished it, but I had to wait on the floss. So I had to put it away, but that gave me time to work on my swap pieces, so I wasn't too upset. But I expect that I'll finish on day 1 next month. And that piece comes from Cross Stitch and Needlework Magazine, March 2013. It looks like this. And the piece I chose was Key to My Heart, and this one is by Cherry Wood Design Studios. And the designers for that under that label were Kathy Haberman and Teresa Curry. So if you know those two designers, they were partners before under a different design name before they went on their own. And this is the piece, which it reminds me of Kathy Haberman's, I guess they're like her pieces that she dedicates to her husband every year for their anniversary, and I love it. But I did not want to do brown and pinks because brown is not part of my decor theme. I'm more of reds and greens, and I do like pink at Valentine's Day. So I decided I wasn't gonna stitch it on this pink fabric. I chose black, so I did 14 count black Aida on the 12 by 12, and I'm gonna fold it down so you can see I was doing this. I got this much done, the border. So it was one of my pieces over 2 days, and after 2 days, this is how it turned out. So you can see that I changed the colors. I put green. I think the only color, I don't think I picked any colors off of hers. So I did this really light pale pink. I think it's Blushing Beauty. And then I chose, did I pick a color off here? I want to see if I wrote it down. Let me look in the bag. I think it's Blushing Beauty. Oh my goodness. Here, oh my floss, the bag's so giant. Have you guys purchased one of these? This is that one from Fat Quarter Shop. It's ginormous. I know they make it big because then you can use it for quilting as well as stitching, but it's huge, but I like it. All right, so the colors I used were Toasted Marshmallow for the white, and these are all classic colorworks. Blushing Beauty and Cherry Cobbler and Chopped Chives. So these are the colors that I chose, and when I was stitching it, I ran out of Blushing Beauty, Toasted Marshmallow, and Chopped Chives. Ran out of them all. I guess it's a lot of dense stitching, and so you think that you have plenty, but you can see it's very thick. So I had to order more. So right now all I have left is the little bit end of the key and the rest of the border and then the words, and then I'm finished. So I really think on my next round I will have it complete and we'll be able to FFO it in time for Valentine's Day because it happens to fall at the beginning of the month. So I should have that one done in time for this year's Valentine's Day. So that's exciting. I'll present it to my husband and then we'll display it in our home. So that'll be a nice gift. Oops, forgot to put the magazine in there. And I haven't looked through the magazine. I don't know if there's any other pieces in there, but when I finish that, I will look through it. And if there is not, that will be one that I will be willing to give up. And when I do, I will do a flip through so you can see what projects are in it. So you can decide if you really want it or you don't want it in my giveaway. All right, so my next piece was a new start, and this one is Strawberry Blossoms by Kathy Barrick. And I made a couple changes. I am going to be doing all the strawberries red, no blue strawberries, and I've changed the blues to 2 greens. So there's a dark blue and a lighter blue, and I have changed it to a dark green and a lighter green because those are more my colors. And let's pull it out. All right. So on New Year's Eve, there's a quote on it, and the only thing that I got done was the last word that says any. That's it. I wrote the word any. So that's about all I got on New Year's Eve. When this one came up though, I feel like when I was working on this, I had people just coming into the Zoom. So I was letting them all in, and then I had posted a question to everybody, was trying to introduce people. So I think that's why this one didn't get more than that, because usually I could do more than that. But it's in my rotation now, so it'll get done. And then the next one was Autumn Love by Lori Holt. And I am starting down here. when I started NYE, I had this square complete. So as you see, border. That's what I was working on, the border. And it was funny because we started out and I'm doing it and I didn't even realize that that's what was happening. And then by the 4th or 5th project, I was like, you guys, I think tonight is a border night for me because that's all I've been doing. So, but that's okay. These borders are simple and the fun part about it is I was busy chatting, so I got them completed. And when I do go back to it to finish up those borders and start the actual motifs, it won't seem like it takes forever to be ready to do the motifs. So, all right, so this piece is actually tonight's project. It is Gathering Clovers by Luminous Fiber Arts. That is this piece right here. I love it. I had chosen this for March Madness last year when I was doing St. Patrick's Day projects, so I didn't have very many St. Patrick's Day projects. And I am stitching this one. And so when I started NYE, I had everything done except I needed to finish the bottom part of the watering can, and I started the little clover here. So tonight I'll work on it. I'll finish the clover. There is another bird over here holding that clover. And then I have to decide if I'm going to do the banded border. It's just like three stitches all the way across, 3 stitches wide all the way across. So I just need to decide if I want to do the border on this one or if I don't. I don't feel like this one will miss anything if I don't do the border. And I was thinking of doing trim with that dark green. Maybe the dark green trim, I might do a pom-pom trim, rickrack, or some chenille. I haven't decided which, but I figure if I'm gonna do that, then I might not, if I do something like this, I may not really need this border. So what I thought I might do is, I like how they have the little clovers here. So I was thinking that if I don't do the border, maybe I'll do the clovers here and then I'll do some over here to like replicate that and then just call it done. So we'll see. I will share it with you in my next floss tube because that will be a whip because I will be working on it today and tomorrow. All right. Next up was another new start that I did on NYE. This one I am stitching Sunnyside Sampler by the Drawn Thread. I was supposed to be stitching this with my friend PJ, but it sounds like PJ feels like maybe she bit off more than she can chew and that she may not be starting it with me. She hadn't made a confirmed decision, but it sounded like she feels like after looking at it that it just seemed a little overwhelming, and I can understand that. So this one on New Year's Eve, I started with the alphabet, and I always start at the bottom right, so I'm starting at the end of the alphabet that runs all the way across of it. So I was able to get W, X, Y, Z. I was asking some friends if they knew why all of the sampler type pieces always have the W so ginormous. But then if you look like at the M, it's not. So I'm not sure if there's some symbolism to that or some reasoning why the W's are always so big. So if you know, please enlighten me. Share it in the comments because I would love to know if there's an actual reason for it. Because I know that M is a big letter too, and it's not wide on the bottom. So I'm just wondering why the W is always like that. So if you know, let me know. All right, so next up was this one was a whip from the New Year's Eve, not 2022, but New Year's Eve 2021. So it was a new start for me on 2021. And what I'm talking about is the 5th Day of Christmas by Hello from Liz Matthews. I am doing the tree. So when I picked it up this time, and again, border. So when I picked it up, let me bring it up. I had only completed the first round of NYE, which I did more this time, so I think I was more focused, is this part. So this year I did all of this. And I think it has a lot to do with this year I had all my projects in Q-snaps. I had floss on the needle was in. I had already marked my place on the project and put the first stitch in, so that way when I started I could just start stitching. So I think that had a lot to do with why I was able to get more this year completed during that time frame than last year. And this year I was chatting with friends, so it was just being more prepared, I think. So then there's this piece. This piece was a whip that I was doing as I'm doing a sal with Nancy Haber from the Bougie Stitchers. And we are stitching, we had started this last year. We're stitching Happy Halloween by Puntini Puntini. And for New Year's Eve, now there's a lot more on this completed than what I did on New Year's Eve, and I'll explain. But here's my piece. So my progress looks really good. When I started New Year's Eve, I had, let me see if I can make this so you can see it. When I started New Year's Eve, I had the fence, the crow, I had the pumpkins and grass, and I had just this part of the, this part of the bottom floor. The top floor was not there. I had half of the, I think the roof only went to the end of the door, okay? And then I had like one stitch here, and that was it. And there's actually a third floor because there's little top parts. So what I did was, for New Year's Eve, my goal was to finish the roof over and finish this roof. And I did, and I started the tree. I only think I did like 4 stitches in the tree before the hour was up. So this one has not been in my rotation yet, but I've completed the grout, I don't know what it's called, the grout between the bricks and the frames on these pictures, on those windows. And I did the rest of the tree, and I did the little upside down bat. Now, when did I do that? Well, before school, before we had to go back to school, I took my daughter to the hair salon, which she chopped her hair off. So next time you get to see Cassandra, she went from long hair to short hair. Not quite as short as mine, but it is very, very cute. So I didn't have any Ada projects that I could take with me, so I took that one because it's on Ada. So I stitched on that one for, I think, about an hour while they did her hair. Then both girls had their dentist appointment 2 days before we went back to school. So I took it with me. I was there for 2 hours. That was awful. So I took it with me and I worked on it there. And then last night when I took my daughter to the emergency room, I took it with me to stitch on it. So because it was Ada, I didn't need my lamp. I didn't need a magnifier. I didn't need anything other than my glasses and my Q-snap and then my project. And so I was able to get some of it done. So when it comes on the 2-day rotation, I'm expecting that I'll get a lot more done on it. So that is why it has so much more finished. All right, so next up, this is my book project. So my book project comes from this hardcover book. Let me pull it out. It is a cross-stitch Christmas, and this one is called Handmade Heirlooms. So it's made by Better Homes and Gardens. And in this one, I think I found about 4 projects in it that I'll want to do before I'm ready to pass it along. But I found this one. It's a Lizzie Kate. It's called Happy Holidays. So I worked on this one on New Year's Eve, and all I got done on New Year's Eve was the snow right there. That's it. But it was in a 2-day rotation, and now I'm here. So I have a question for Miss Lori. Lori, I hope you're paying attention. All right, so I'm not far from being done. If you look at the project, all I have left is Happy Holidays. I already did the day, so Happy Holly really is all I have left. So my question, Lori, is in your 2-day rotation, do you, if you get this close to being done, do you still move it to the next month and just wait till then to finish it? Or do you find time to finish up those last few stitches and call it finished? I'm just wondering. Because I'm trying something new, I'm using willpower, and I'm not convincing myself that I have to do it, okay? I think a lot of times I stress myself out with all my little goals, and I don't need to be doing that. And it's not stressed out like, oh my gosh, I have to do it. It's not like that. It's just like, oh, I'm so close. I should just go ahead and finish it. And so that every time I do that, I get myself a little bit overwhelmed because I put too much pressure on myself. So I was just wondering if you did that, Lori, if you went ahead and carried it over and know that you'll finish it next time, or if you find time to go ahead and finish it up and call it done. I'm going to carry it over since I don't know what your response is, and I'm going to carry it over, and I'm going to know that it'll be done on my next round. And I'm not sad about it because it says happy holidays. Obviously it's for Christmas time, and it's not Christmas time, so it's not a big deal that I get it done today. But I have to remind myself that because sometimes my OCD makes me think I have to do everything right now, this way, and that's it. So that's what's fun about trying something new, is setting your mindset that this is something new, I'm trying it out, let's stick to the guidelines, see how it goes, and then make a decision instead of starting something, changing, starting something, changing. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but that's how I am. So I'm trying to really stick to it for the whole month just to see if I like it or not, because I can change it later. It's my own personal goal. Nobody's making me do it this way, but I just want to try something new. So I'm trying to be dedicated to trying it new. So Lori, let me know some input on that. I'd love to hear your ideas about it. And after you share with me, I will share that out with everybody else so they have an idea as well. All right, and so this is another project that I would ask that of Lori as well, and that is I'm stitching this one with both of the bougie stitchers, both Jenny and Nancy. We decided to do a stitch long. Originally I asked Jenny because I was already doing one with Nancy and I didn't want her to think I was leaving her out. And so I asked her if she wanted to do a stitch long, and she said yes, and we hunted for a pattern. Once we found the pattern, she said, I'm told Nancy she's doing it too. So it became the three of us, and we said, okay, let's make a hashtag, and so other people can join us. So if you're interested in joining us, the hashtag is JD, because it's by Jeanette Douglas, JD, do what you love, Sal. Okay, so if you're interested in doing it with us, please join us. It's a lot of fun. I'm not going to have mine done at least until next month because I didn't finish my 2-day rotation, so it's carrying over. So, and they're working on theirs too. Jenny's got a really big star. I'm not sure how far Nancy has. I haven't seen her update yet. But this is the project that we're doing. It's called Let's Do What We Love by Jeanette Douglas. And I did a little bit of changes on mine. So let me show you. So this picture is really crummy for the true colors. I have the called for colors. The only color that was not in stock when I tried to order it was Baked Apple. But Baked Apple and the other red, which is Cayenne, are these two reds down here. And to me, they look exactly the same. So I decided, since I couldn't get Baked Apple, that I would make it like tricolors, a dark one, a medium one, and the light one. So that's what I did there. And then, believe it or not, these two are deep fennel, which is like a dark teal. They don't look like it in the picture though. So what I did is, I didn't like how these little quilt stars, I think that's what they are, I didn't like how they were black. I thought that they should have some color, especially because the thread in the needle is deep fennel. So that didn't make sense that that's deep fennel and those are black. So I made some changes. So let me show you what I did. I did not choose the called for fabric. I chose my own, and it's a sage green Lugana 28 count. So here is mine. And as you can see, it's much brighter. These are much brighter. So what I did was, in the spools, they were done in all the reds down here, but I decided to add, since the thread was deep fennel, I decided to add one of the bobbins have deep fennel. Then I did the medium red and then the pink. in the other spools because the door's already red and the chimneys are already red. And then I did the same 3 colors here, okay? And so these little things have a bit of black. So the black carries through from the windows to these little motifs as well as in the words. We did notice an error in the piece. So it says, let's do what we love and do it a lot. Now I am a teacher, so of course I saw the grammar mistake. Right here, they have a lot together and that word is not spelled that way. So what I did was I just, first of all, before I noticed it, I didn't notice it till I stitched it wrong. So I stitched it, it was correct. It was just like the pattern. And then I said, that looks weird. What's wrong with it? So I held it back, and when I held it back, I realized, oh my gosh, that's a mistake. So what I did is I tore out lot and I moved it over because with this heart here, there was still lots of room. And so I just moved that over. And then that gave it enough space so that now it's grammatically correct. So all I have left, I don't have much left. This was one of my 2-day rotations. It was supposed to be my New Year's New Start with them. And so I did 2 days in my rotation. And the only thing I have left is the pin cushion, which is also red, which is another reason why I didn't want these to be red. I wanted to space it out so it'll go here. And then I just have the little berry basket. And that's it. I'll be finished. So that was the first one that I thought, ugh, do I keep going or do I go ahead and move it to the next month? But I'm being a good little girl and I am carrying it over to the next month, which is good because I did stitch quite fast on those 2 days because the day of New Year's Eve, all I got done on New Year's Eve was these 2 flowers and part of the stem. That was it. I didn't have baked apples, so I had to look for a substitution and I put it there so that I would have 3 colors. But then it was in my 2-day rotation and I went to town. It's such a fun stitch. Even if you don't want to do it for the sal reason, but you like the words, it's fun and it goes really fast. So that is that piece. And then, as I told you on my New Year's Eve, when I was doing my calendar, I needed to add in some other projects. So the one for ornament came up in my rotation. So I added a new project, and the ornament I'm doing is the Prairie Schooler Santa 2021. And I'm stitching this one for my grandson Luca for last year. I'm going to put the year 2022 on it. I'm trying to make him an ornament every single year. And I have his baby's first one. This is supposed to be his second ornament. And then I made changes. Okay, so don't get mad at me. Please don't get mad. I know that people don't change Prairie Schooler. So I didn't change the colors per se. I just changed the location. So I'm going to show you what I had trouble with. So in this pattern, this is what I believe is a fox. Now, a friend of mine said maybe it's a dog. I don't know. I thought because of the dark paws, the dark ears, the fluffy tail, the white underneath on his underbelly, I'm assuming it's a fox. It is a woodland Santa with other creatures from the woods. So it bothered me that it was dark brown. And then the little raccoon reminded me too much of a red panda. So we go to the zoo a lot. They have lots of red pandas at our zoo. And that's what it looked like. It did not look like a raccoon. So what I did was I took this color and moved it to the fox. Then I took the color of the owl's face and moved it to the raccoon. So are you ready to see my changes? Let me see. I like this so much better. And my poor Santa is headless because my 2-day rotation ended. So here we go. So as you can see, it's pretty different. And I just think the fox now looks more reddish than he did before. And my raccoon looks more like a raccoon, at least the ones that we see here in our area. So I'm very happy with how that's going along. And all I have left when I come to it next month will be the owl, his little knapsack with the other little bird, his head, of course, and then the title, and then it'll be finished. My plan is that when I FFO it on the back, since I cut a nice piece, this is 28 count coffee tea dyed Monaco, but dyed by me. I'm going to cut off a little square and I'm going to put 2022 on it and Luca's name. I'll probably just back stitch them, and then I will attach that to the back of the ornament, so that way I'll know exactly whose it is. So I won't mix it up between my children's and now my grandchild. And that's my plan for that one. So let me know what you think about those changes. Hopefully you're not cursing at me for changing the called for location of Prairie Schooler. All right, and so that brings me to my last whip. My last whip is my morning stitch, the one I decided to do because everybody's been doing it and I really wanted to do it too. And it's funny because this comes from the Punch Needle and Primitive magazine, Christmas winter issue of 2020, which I could have done it a long time ago, but for whatever reason, it was calling to me this year, I guess like a lot of others. I know that Cecilia, she's from Heart and Hand, and I know that she took this series, all of them from that year, and put them into one chart. So maybe that's why it was released in Nashville, I believe. And that might be why everybody's doing them. But I don't have that chart, but I do have the magazine. So I saw somebody had stitched it with white trees like birch trees. And I wanted to do that because I have become fond of cardinals because my son, who lives in Missouri, when he moved there, he would send me videos at the beginning of the winter season when it snowed. And he would show me that the cardinals were in the trees. And I always saw Christmas cards with cardinals in a tree. And I just thought that was a winter thing made up by advertisements and things. I didn't know that they really were in those trees. So when he sent me a video of it, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And so every year since then, since he's moved there, whenever one lands in the tree near his home, he takes a picture and some video and sends it to me. I haven't seen any this year, but maybe he will. Winter's not over yet. So I decided to do it with the white trees, just like the ones that are by his backyard of his home. And I started it, and here it is. I'm stitching it on 28 count. I dyed it with Rit Dye Evening Blue. I love this color so much. It was a scrap piece that I had, and so I pulled it out. And so the first morning before school, I got these two trees completely done. Then so that was on Monday. On Tuesday, I did the big fat tree branch here, and then these ones right here. And then today I started the cardinal. So I'm hoping that tomorrow before school, I'll have the cardinal finished. And so tomorrow will be Thursday. So then Friday, I should be able to get the rest of the trees done. And that would be 5 days from the week before work that I'm working on it. And here is the chart. And again, it's by Heart and Hand, Cecilia Turner. And it's called Winter Cardinal. So if I do, then that means I have another piece completed in the middle of all this rotating that I'm doing. So I'm very excited about that. So those are my whips. All right, so are you still hanging out there with me okay? I hope so. I'm moving for my notes. A lot of whips because of the NYE, otherwise I wouldn't have had as many. Okay, so haul, I really don't have very many. I do have 3 pieces that I want to share with you. And this one, I do not know the language, so I'm going to guess at what it's called. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm going to tell you that it did come out on 123 Stitch pretty recent, so it's pretty new. It's a Jardin Purvey, and I'm going to call it Spring Snow Globe. I don't know what it says that it is because it's in another language that I don't speak, and I did not have time when I got home from work to look it up to have it translated. So this is the pattern. So as you can see those words right there, I really don't know what that means, but look at this piece. Isn't that adorable? So when I was going through 123 Stitch, I was looking at all of the designs that she had put out because I had saw this one on What's New. And I was like, oh, I really want to do that one. It's so pretty. And I wanted to see if there was one for each season, but I didn't find any. But I did find she has some other snow globe pieces that are like storybook characters. So I believe there was a Little Red Riding Hood one. Was it? It might have been Alice in Wonderland. I don't know. There was a couple of them that were storybook characters. And I thought those are so cute. I have to stitch them and put in my classroom. And this one's not one of those. So I'm thinking, and I could be completely wrong, but I'm just guessing, that maybe that means she's going to do one for each season, and this is the spring one. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that I am correct about that. And if so, I will definitely do all of them. This one is adorable, and as soon as I have a spring slot open in my rotation, this one is going in because I really, really want to do it. It's so pretty. So I ordered that one. And then I ordered this one. I saw this one in Instagram advertised because I follow Crochet A Go-Go. I'm sure I'm saying that name wrong too. But I saw her post this on Instagram, so I immediately placed an order for it because you can't just buy one pattern when you order something. It has to have a friend to travel. So I went on and to see if it was available, and it was. And it's called Winter Joy, and it's some winter smalls. And one thing that I noticed when I put out all my winter was I have a lot of pieces, but I don't have any tier tray pieces. So I want to make more pillows and tier trays. I think this year is going to be a year of smalls because I don't have a lot of tier trays. And my house has room for everything else, but my tier trays look so bare and empty. So I want to fill them up. So then the other one, okay, so here's what happened on, I want to say, Wednesday of last week, maybe Tuesday, my friend Kimberly posted in our group, we put a messenger group for all of us that go to our Thursday night stitching so that we could touch base throughout the week with each other and then find out who's going, who's not going. And Kimberly had posted that she had purchased the Prairie Schooler A Merry Mini surprise chart twice. And did anyone want to trade for something else? Well, I was looking when I was going to order this piece. Someone had shown the winter petites. No, the snowy petites by Little House Needlework. And I was like, oh, I really love those. I think I already bought them. So as I'm filing away my charts, I haven't gotten to January yet. I'm going to do that this weekend. So I start looking through January because I was sure I bought that. I couldn't find it. I only found the winter petites. I'm like, oh, I guess I thought I ordered it, but I didn't. Well, so I ordered it again. Well, between the time that I ordered it to the time it arrived to me, I had been flipping through looking for something to work on, probably the Prairie Schooler Santa. And in there it was, the Snowy Petite. So when Kimberly said, does anyone want to swap this pattern for something? I messaged her right away and said, hey, do you want to stitch the Snowy Petites by Little House Needlework? I accidentally ordered a second one that I already have. And she said she would love to because she had already purchased the Autumn Petites and really liked them, and that she would love to do it. So on Thursday night last week, we made a trade. So that was wonderful. So I hadn't purchased it yet. I wanted to, but I had ordered so many Christmas things, I decided to wait. And now I don't have to order it because now I made the trade. What a great swap that was. So thank you, Kimberly, for watching. I appreciate it. It made my day. It's nice when you can turn one of those duplicates into something that you can get back out of it. So that was my haul. That's all I got. I did get a couple of pieces of Happy Mail. Also, I want to say, Missy, if you're watching, I did get your card from you. I'm sorry I didn't thank you for you. Thank you so much. I was terrible at getting cards out this year. I'm really bad about that. I'm going to try to be better this year. But I did get a couple other cards that came in as well. And I would show Missy's, but it was her family pictures. I don't really know that I have permission to show them, so I'm not going to. But it was a lovely card. But I did get a card, a thank you card from Julie. I had sent out a giveaway, and she sent back a thank you card. I do appreciate that, Julie. That was so sweet of you. Didn't have to, but it did brighten my day, so thank you very much. And then I also got a card that surprised me, and it came from Janine. Was it Janine? Let me look. Janie, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, but she sent me a card, and she sent me something so special inside. Really touched my heart that you were thinking of me that way. Thank you so much. You didn't have to. I truly appreciate that you did, and I hope that you liked the prize that you won. But this was her pretty little card. Look how sparkly it is. I just love it. So thank you. I did receive that. In my last couple of floss tubes, they were specials, and I didn't go over this stuff, so I want to make sure you knew that I did receive it, and I'm so grateful that you both thought of me. And then one other of my Happy Mails that came in, which was exciting, was Missy and Kathy. They're Two Needles Pulling Thread. They had a live, and I was dying to go to it, and then it got canceled because their power was out. I can't imagine living like that. So they're like superhumans to me. That's amazing. I probably would sit under a blanket and cry. I wouldn't know what to do. But they then moved their live another time. Well, the live was happening, and you know, it's 3 hours difference between here in California and where they live in Maine. So I was out shopping, and we were in the car, and I opened up my phone, and I clicked on the live when it started, and I let everyone in the car know they had to be quiet because I had to listen. And so the entire live, I watched it from my phone driving home. So my whole family got to listen to the live. But what was so much fun was they had trivia questions. So if you've been watching them for a while, the trivia questions were about them. And so it was the first comment that was correct that they saw on their end. And I understand that because you might type and it looks like it pops up first for you, but with internet and distances and all of that, for some reason, sometimes it lags. So by stating ahead of time that they were going by the first one they saw, I do think that's fair, because how else would they know if you're seeing yours first and they're not seeing yours first? How are they gonna know? So I understood that. And I kept playing. I get so competitive when there's trivia that I actually know, because I don't know much. And so when that happens, I can't stop playing. And it was funny because I kept answering right away. And then Missy goes, Sandy, yes, you're right, but you already won. And I'm like, I know, I just want to play. It's so much fun. So I hope that didn't bother them so much. I did have a great time, but I did win one of them. And the package just came in the mail like 2 days ago. So I saved it to show you what I won, because I didn't even know what I was gonna get. They gave a couple ideas of who the designers were that were in this particular package. And I heard Blackbird, and that like perked my ears up because I do like Blackbird. And so I wanted to answer that one, and I did. And it came with this cute little card. Look at it, has their little name on it. It has their Flosstube channel and their names, and it says Merry Stitching. I just think that's so cute. So I got that, and this is what came in my prize. So any of you that went to the live, maybe you wanted to know what was in them. So the ones what I got was, first there was this floss ring with some floss bling on it, and this is it. It's made by Sophia Violet Designs. That's the tag. And let me show you it. I'm gonna take it out so you can look at it. It's so cute. And I don't know if it came to them in this, or if they bought it like that, or if they just packaged it up, but it's so cute. And then, and the little bow, okay, matches the little organza bag. How cute is that? So here it is. Let me see. It's very sweet. Okay. So it has a couple of charms and a button. The charm is looks like a little acorn birdhouse, I think. I could be wrong, and then a decorative button. And then here is the floss bling. And look at, it looks like a little weeping willow tree with a sheep in the front. I don't know what the pattern is. You're probably all shouting to me, I don't know. But I like weeping willow trees, so this was a nice surprise. So thank you, Missy and Kathy. But that's not all. Let's show you what else I got. I got, this is by Little Stitches Handwork Club from Not Forgotten Farm, July, August, and September, and they're called Alpha Basket Needle Roll. So this is it. So that'll be fun. I would probably stitch this, but I think I'm gonna change the colors. But I thought that was fun. And then I got by Heartstring Samplery, Sunday Stitches, Amazing Grace. And when it came in, I was singing this song, and it's funny because generally I don't sing a lot of religious songs in my family. I do sing them when I go to church, and I love them. And almost every time I go to church and sing when the choir's singing, I always cry. It moves me. And so I was singing it, and all of a sudden my husband looked at me, and I just had to laugh. I'm like, you didn't know I could sing that song, and then I knew all the words. And he says, no, I didn't, but I know all the words too. So I think when he went to church growing up with his family, he had to sing it too. But this is the pattern. So that'll be fun to stitch up as one of the songs I know so well. And then this one is by Homespun Elegance, Sandra Sullivan, and it's called Designs That Reflect Our American Heritage, and they are miniature samplers, number 4. And so here is the big piece, and then there is little ones that they did separately and then framed them separately. So that's 2 different ways you could do it. I like this one, it's very cute. I especially love the house and the bunny, so that's probably what I'll do when I complete them. And then the one that caught my ear when she said it, she said Blackbird, and I'm so excited because I don't have this book. So it was The Bells on Christmas Day. Look at that, isn't it gorgeous? Here's the big sampler in the back. And they're so pretty. I love this one. Look, this one, you make it into this little like box, like a little box that you can put little trinkets in, and you can put the needle book in there. That is so cute. Look at it, how cute it is. So I love these. And here's the one that's in the box on the bottom. So I love this, and I love that they give you all these ideas of different ways to finish the pieces other than your typical way of making a pillow or making a framed piece. Like, look at this one's a bag. I love that. It's so cute, but it's a little bag. So I love that they give you those ideas, and I'm so excited to have this pattern booklet. So I want to say publicly thankful. I am so thankful, Missy and Kathy. You made my day. The live was so much fun. I can't wait to attend another one of your lives, and I do appreciate the charts as well. So thank you for sending those my way. All right. So as I'm dropping everything, let's get to my, let's see. I have a new event I want to talk about. So when I went to Jingle Ball, the one thing that I got, like, of course I bought merchandise. Of course I got to talk to the designers and meet them. I got to take some classes. All of that was fabulous. But one of the things that made my heart feel a lot of joy was the stitching rooms. And the reason why that is because I got to go in, meet other stitchers, talk about what they were stitching, talk about things like what we have for dinner here versus where, or for a special occasion versus what they have. Like, what do I make at Christmas time? What do they make at Christmas time? Finding all the differences in our lifestyles. It was so much fun. Like, we were giggling, laughing, had such a great time. So that's what sparked my interest in doing a Zoom for the NYE 12x12. And I did, and that confirmed how I felt about it. So every year when a new year comes, a friend of mine started me, I want to say this probably like 10 years now I've been doing it. she always came up with a word of the year. And she said, the idea is that you think of the word of something that you need to work on personally to yourself, or that means something to you. And then you use this word in your daily life, and you find ways to relate back to the word every day. So I've done many days. I've many things. I've done determination. I have done patience. Sometimes you need to be patient. I've done challenge, like I need to challenge myself. Um, every year I do a different one. So last year was grace. I needed to find grace, give myself grace, because a lot of times I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I forget that I don't have to do that. There's time to do other things. There's time to wait and be patient and not worry so much about doing everything all at once and trying to do a perfect job every time, because that just wears you out and stresses you out. So I did do that last year. So this year I thought really hard about what my word's going to be. And this year my word is friendship. And what I mean by that is I want to encourage more friendships, and I want to be a good friend. So a lot of us get busy in our lives. I do all the time. I'm very guilty about this, but I get busy. I have 3 of my kids are still in the home. 2 are out of the home. I work as a teacher during the day. Then I'm taxi car driver for my kids in the evenings. Each one of them are all involved in different things, so I'm going back and forth to all their events. They have a lot of projects at school because they are all really strong students and are in advanced classes, which requires more work. So I have a lot of supporting them that way. And then, of course, finding ways to make time for my husband so that we can have some one-on-one time to just talk or go out for a drink or for dinner or something. So one thing that I forget to do is I'll tell my friend, hey, it's been a while since we've had lunch. We should do lunch. And then time goes on and on and on, and we don't do lunch. And it's not because we don't want to hang out with each other. It's because we've gotten so busy that we forget to book that lunch, set that date up. Or I won't have heard from a friend in a while, and I forget I should take time out each week, even if it's one day, and pick up the phone and call one of my friends I haven't talked to in a while and say, hey, how's it going? How are you? And then just listen to them. So I want to create that. And one thing that I noticed from the Jingle Ball as well as my NYE Zoom is that there are people that are out there in the world that have an interest that I do, but they're alone. They might have lost a family member. Maybe they lost their spouse. Maybe their children have moved out of the home. For whatever reason, they're alone. And they enjoyed connecting as well. So I thought it would be fun, as one way to build on my word friendship would be to offer a Zoom twice. I have to find a way to commit to it. So I had to pick a number. So I chose to pick 2 days a month to host a Zoom. So I am going to do it on the 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month. So if you're watching me, you'll know that the 2nd Sunday of the month is this Sunday. And I know it's short notice, so don't worry if you can't come. But if you would like to come and stitch with me, I am Pacific Standard Time. So in my time from 10 to 2, I am going to open up a Zoom. So the way that you can be invited to come into the Zoom is if you're interested in joining and stitching with me and just chatting and talking. I would love that. I will be on the Zoom from that time frame. And if you come in, if you want to join me and stitch with me, you don't have to stay the whole time. You could just pop in for an hour, whatever you want to do. Then email me. Let me know that you're interested in signing up for the Zooms. I am going to keep a log of the email addresses that I get. And then every time one of them's coming up, I'm going to send out the invite, the Zoom link invite, so that you can come. That way, once you get the invite once, you can save that email and use the same link every single time that you join. It'll be the same link. I have it open up right now. It's opened to do the second and fourth Sundays all the way up to the end of May, I believe. And so you can only do so many days out, and then you have to add more. And so I'll add more, but that way the link will stay the same. So if that's something you would like to do, please email me to let me know that you're interested. And then on Saturday evening, either Saturday morning or Saturday evening, I do have Stitchy group get together on Saturday, and we're celebrating a friend's exciting moment in her life. So I will probably get it out either Friday night or Saturday morning. I can send you the link. But even if you don't watch my channel until after this weekend and you're interested, email me, because what I will do is I'm going to keep a notebook with everybody's emails address so that every time there's one in, I can send the invite. If you're available and want to join us, you can join us. If you're not available, that's okay. You can make it the next time. So if you would like to stitch with me, it will be every second and fourth Sunday of the month. It'll be ongoing. I'm doing it from 10 to 2 Pacific Standard Time, so you'll have to just figure out what time zone yours is and what time that is for you so that you can join me. I was trying to pick a time that would be after people's visits to church, because I know a lot of people go to church, but before dinner time. So I was trying to fix it across the time zones, what would be a good time. So hopefully it'll work for you. If you can join me, that'd be great. If you can't, that's okay too. But if you're interested, see my email in the description box below. Send me an email, let me know, and I would love to have you join. That's the first friendship thing I'm going to do. The second thing that I would like to do, and you can let me know if you're interested as well, is I want to do a birthday happy mail. So what I used to do, I was in a group, it was called a birthday floss group. And so what you do is you get a list of everybody's birthdays, and then every month, whatever people's birthdays are in that month, you put together a card and some floss. It can be any type of floss, and you send it out to them to let them know that you're celebrating them, and that's like a little mini birthday present. It doesn't cost too much. It's the joy of getting some fun happy mail. I would like to do that. So if you're interested in that, being a part of that, you don't have to mail out anything. I'm offering to do something nice for you in celebration of your birthday. So if you're interested in doing that, email me, give me your name, your date of birth. You don't have to put the year, because we are ladies and we don't tell how old we are unless you want to. But that's your choice. You don't ever have to tell anyone. But send the month and the day, and then that's what I want to do. That's something I would like to do. So if you're interested in doing that, email me your name and your birth date, and I will get that out. And it is a new year, so if your birthday happened from January 1st up to now already, you can still email me, because I will send out my January's at the end of January. And then from now on, I will do it at the beginning of February, as long as I know your birthday. So I thought that would be fun. So that's my way of spreading some of my friendship. I'm hoping to do more of things with my friends, and I'm making a goal of call a friend every week, at least one friend, and check in on them. And I'm going to try to also set up lunch dates or dinner dates or coffee dates or drink dates, just with friends that I care so much about, and I don't get to see them very often. And sometimes I think they get busy. So if I make it my goal to call them up and set up the date and say, nope, we're putting on the calendar what day works for you, and plug it in right there, it's going to happen. That's going to fill my heart with joy that I got to see my friends, and hopefully that'll make their day better too. So that's something that I'm going to do. If you don't want to participate, let me know what you think about it. It's just something I thought of. So I'm nearing the end of my video. I'm going to do my giveaways for this time. And the two that I chose were Little House Needleworks. This is Wisdom, and it's the Sheep Virtues Wisdom. If you're interested in this, I would like you to use the keyword knowledge, and you're going to answer the question that I'm going to give you in a minute as well. So the keyword for this one is knowledge. The other giveaway is Country Cottage Needleworks. sampler of the month, and this is March. And if you're interested in this one, the keyword is rainbow. So please use either keyword. This one was knowledge. This one is rainbow. And then I'd like you to answer the question of the day. So last time I asked a would you rather then. And the question was, would you rather build a snowman or go ice skating? And I have to say, the most people would rather build a snowman just like me. So it was fun to find out. And it was fun to hear your stories and reasons. One person made me laugh because she said, besides, ice is too hard anyways. Yeah, because I would be falling on that ice and it hurts your bum. So, all right, so the question this time around is, and I'm going to tell you why. The question is, what is something funny that a small child has said to you? Now, teachers have lots of stories, and I'm going to share mine with you. But what is something funny a child said? It could be your child. It doesn't have to be recent. It could be before. It could be your child. It could be your niece, your nephew, your grandchild. But maybe it's your friend's child. But what is something funny they said to you? And the reason why I thought of that question today was today I have two classes, an AM and a PM. My morning class was leaving, so we were lining up at the door, and about 4 of the girls in my class were up at the front of the line next to me waiting for the gate to open so I could open the door and dismiss them. And they said, Miss Alba, guess what? I got a makeup kit for Christmas. Another little girl said, well, I got a makeup table so I could put my makeup on. And another girl goes, well, I got foundation. And then the other girl goes, I got a makeup kit too. And then I said, you girls don't need makeup. You're 5 years old. You're too young for makeup. You're too young, you're too young, you're too young, you're too young. And then the one little girl says, well, Miss Alba, I have to put my face on. And I just died because I could just imagine her mom has probably said that before. So it was funny, but that wasn't it. So I opened up the door, I start dismissing them. I have this sweet little boy named Jacob. I have taught his sister a couple of years ago. She was in my class. So his dad came to pick him up. And his dad's like, hi, Miss Alba, Happy New Year, because I hadn't seen him yet. And he said, and I said, Happy New Year, I hope you had a good break. And he said, well, I was gone for about 10 days working. He said, I just got back. And he goes, and Jacob, he said, I really missed him. And he goes, and I kept trying to get him to talk to me on the phone, and he refused to talk to me because he was mad that I was gone. And he said, so I asked my wife, like, why doesn't he want to talk to me? And so she asked him, and she told her husband, well, Jacob says, right now I'm mad at him, so he's dead to me. So I don't know where he heard that, dead to me. And you'd think they're 5 years old. So it was hilarious. It made me laugh. And all I could think of was that it's a reminder that little ones hear everything that we're saying. Even if we think they're not paying attention, they are. So keep that in mind, because their teacher, like me, is probably hearing it at school. But we thought that was funny. He's so silly. But they really do have the funniest things to say. And it brought me a lot of joy and made me laugh today. So I thought I'd share that with you. And I would love to hear what funny things your children have said to you. All right. So with that, that comes to a closure. So I would like to remind you to be confident, to be courageous, to be creative, and please be kind. We need more kind people in the world. Have a great week or two. I'll probably be back in 2 weeks. Email me below if you want to join me in the Zoom, or if you want to join me for the birthday celebration. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.